Fayyad, the director of Oscar-nominated and Emmy Award-winning documentary Last Men in Aleppo. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Middle East Matters. Faraz, is there any regret in the uprisings that started 10 years ago in your country, given the scale of destruction?
I've been documented Syria for the last 10 years, and from the beginning of the revolution, we lost our home, and I received the threat. Even my family, I received the threat. But this is no regret for that, because this is for the change for Syria. I think everyone went to the street from the Syrian, not regretting that moment, because we all dreaming for change and for better future for Syria.
So you've been fighting for this better future, but 10 years later, Bashar al-Assad is still there.
Yes, it's make us all angry, and it's make us all the time we want to keep fighting. After all the lose that we lost, not easy to say yes for his continues, and that need a pressure from the international community to Bashar al-Assad.
You mentioned the international community. Would you say that, you speak to Syrians all the time, would you say that they blame the proxies, the other powers, as much as they blame Assad? I'm talking about the Iranians, the Russians, the Turks.
The Syrian regime, the firstly responsible about this crime, but also all the parties who support the Syrian regime is responsible about these crimes, because they are silent on this and they don't do anything, and they also participate in killing the Syrians. So it's need a movement for that, and the justice process is one of the hope for the Syrian.
Speaking of hope, you have previously said that the white helmets, they really made you believe in humanity. Before I ask you a question about that, let's take a look at a clip from that documentary together. Faraz, we just watched a clip of that documentary, but years on, it feels like the white helmets aren't really getting much attention, neither is the war in Syria.
Yeah, unfortunately, partly of that, the propaganda machine that tried to take attention from the great work of the white helmets, who saves thousands of lives, who kept doing it for saving lives. And personally, I've been experiencing that as a documentary filmmaker who documented and filming with the white helmets. And it's not easy to fight this propaganda machine. It's strong enough to destroy any reputation, but in general, those people, they doing right, and I encourage the international community to all the time think about them, because this is the only hope for the Syrians.
We do need to think about them. Let's very briefly talk about you, like many Syrians, the fact that you've personally experienced loss because of this conflict and even prior to that. And I do have some jarring figures. Almost 1 in 2 young people say they've lost a close friend or a relative in this war. Tell us about your experience very briefly, if you can, for us.
Yes, as many Syrians, I lost a member of my family, but you know, it's not just in this current war. It's been it's been from the 80. From the 80s until now. I lost my uncle in 83 because he's expressed his opinion against the Syrian regime. We lost in this current uprising. We lost our home. My family now is living in outside of the home. I lost my cousin also, and we still, but the same things. Just imagine half of the nations have the same suffer.
Faraz, one word if you can. Any hope for you being able to go back on Syrian soil one day?
I hope if there is a pressure from the international society community on the Bashar al-Assad government and removing him and driving him to the court, then there will be hope to back. Otherwise, Syria will be a dangerous place until Assad removed.
So we will have to hold on to some hope. Faraz Fayyad, thank you so much for sharing your story with us here on Middle East Matters, and thank you